Welcome back to the deep dive. We are really glad you're here with us today because we are wading into some truly heavy waters.
Very heavy. There's a definite darkness to this one.
There is. And I want to start by just, setting the mood. Before we even talk about the plot or the characters, I want you to picture something with me.
Okay.
Look at the cover art we have for this source material in this stack.
It creates an immediate reaction, doesn't it? It's not subtle.
Not subtle at all. It's stark. It's primarily red and black. It's got these jagged brush strokes that, quite frankly, look like dried blood or maybe war paint.
It's aggressive. You look at it and you don't think, oh, a children's story.
No, you think conflict. You think violence.
It certainly screams that this isn't going to be a pleasant stroll on the beach. It's visceral. It triggers that fight or flight response just looking at it.
Yeah.
Prepares you for violence.
Exactly. And then there's this other image, an illustration included in our notes. I honestly can't get it out of my head.
The one with the boy in the jungle.
Yeah, it shows a boy. But he's not a tidy British schoolboy in a blazer. He's skinny, you can see his ribs, and he looks absolutely feral.
Completely wild.
He's standing in this dark jungle holding a crude wooden spear. And at his feet, there's blood pooling, a lot of it, and lying right in the middle of that red puddle is a pair of broken glasses.
That single image encapsulates the entire tragedy we're about to discuss. It looks like an adventure story on the surface. You know, a boy in the jungle like Robinson Crusoe or Coral Island.
The kind of stories these boys would have read.
Exactly. But the details, they tell a completely different story. The blood, the broken glasses, they signal a nightmare. It suggests the loss of something vital.
It's not just about survival, then.
No, it's about what you lose in the process of surviving. The glasses, they're such a clear symbol. They represent vision, clarity, intellect, civilization itself. And they are crushed in a pool of blood.
A nightmare is the right word. We are doing a massive deep dive into the first 8 chapters of William Golding's Lord of the Flies. And the mission today is, well, it's to track the devolution.
The descent.
The descent. We want to understand how a group of proper upper-class British schoolboys kids who sing in choirs and call adults, "Oh, sir," how do they go from that to the feral kid with the spear in the blood puddle?
And it is a study in regression. We're looking at how civilization is stripped away layer by layer. And the terrifying thing isn't just that it happens, but how quickly it happens.
Right. What's the timeline here?
We're talking about a matter of weeks, maybe a month or two at most by the end of our scope today. Golding is essentially running a sociological simulation.
A thought experiment.
A thought experiment, exactly. What happens to human nature when you remove the guardrails? When the police, the teachers, and the parents are gone? Who are we, really?
That is the question, isn't it? So let's set the scene based on the first few pages of the source text. We start with a crash, or at least the aftermath of one. We are dropped right into the middle of the situation.
Right. And the context is vital here, and it's often missed if you just skim the opening because you're looking for the adventure part. Piggy, one of our main characters, mentions an atom bomb very early on.
He does, doesn't he?
He says, "Did you hear what the pilot said? About the atom bomb, they're all dead."
That really stops you in your tracks if you're paying attention.
It should. It frames the entire narrative. There is a massive global war going on in the outside world. A nuclear war, potentially.
So these boys weren't on holiday.
No, they were being evacuated from Britain to escape the destruction. So violence is already the backdrop of their lives. They aren't just castaways. They are refugees of a world that is actively destroying itself. They crash land on this deserted tropical island, but they bring the shadow of that war with them.
And the setting itself creates this incredible contrast. You've got the lagoon, these pink granite rocks, the dense jungle. It's the Coral Island fantasy.
It's paradise, visually. The water is warm. There's fruit everywhere. It should be an idyll. But the catch is the survivors. It's all boys.
No grown-ups, as Ralph says.
And his reaction is so telling. He stands on his head with delight when he realizes it. Literally stands on his head in the sand.
It's pure childhood joy. No rules, no bedtime, no homework.
But Piggy realizes the horror of it immediately. He's the one who notes that the pilot is dead. He's all dead, he says. The authority figure is gone. And interestingly, the text points out the scar. That's what they call the path the crashing plane made in the jungle.
A wound on the island.
It's a literal wound on the island itself. Humanity has already scarred nature just by arriving. The destruction starts on page 1.
So let's meet these players, because the dynamic between them is, well, it's everything. This is a character-driven tragedy. We start with Ralph.
Ralph, the fair boy. That's his first description. He's 12 years old in a few months, and he's described as being built like a boxer. But he has a mildness about his mouth and eyes that proclaimed no devil.
Proclaimed no devil. I love that phrase. It's so specific.
It is. It means he's not malicious. He's not a bully. He's our protagonist, representing a sort of natural, easy charisma. He's the golden boy.
The kid who is good at sports, who teachers like.
Who just glides through life. He doesn't have to try very hard to be liked. He just is.
And he's just happy to be there, at least at first. He's stripping off his clothes, swimming in the lagoon. He's living the dream. But then, dragging along behind him, we have Piggy.
Piggy is the absolute antithesis of Ralph physically. He's shorter, very fat, wears these thick spectacles, and suffers from asthma.
Or asthma, as the boys call it.
Right, asthma. He's wearing a greasy windbreaker, even in the tropical heat. He's sweating. He's physically uncomfortable in this environment from the second he arrives. He's not built for the wild.
And that line from Ralph, sucks to your asthma. It's so cruel, but it's such a perfect casual dismissal of Piggy's physical frailty. It establishes the pecking order immediately.
It does. But here's the key, and this is why Piggy is so tragic. Mentally, Piggy is miles ahead of everyone else. He's the one asking the logistical questions.
Where's the man with the megaphone? We ought to make a list.
Exactly. He is obsessed with what adults would do. He's constantly quoting his auntie.
My auntie told me not to run, or my auntie says. It's his anchor to the old world.
It is. He represents the intellectual, the rational, the tie to the civilized world they left behind. He's the one realizing the gravity of the situation. We may stay here till we die. While Ralph is swimming and playing, Piggy is doing the math on survival. He represents the superego, the rules, the science.
And he's also the first victim. He trusts Ralph with his nickname, Piggy, asking him explicitly not to tell the others.
It's a moment of real vulnerability. He says, I don't care what they call me, so long as they don't call me what they used to call me at school. They used to call me Piggy.
And what does Ralph do 30 seconds later?
He immediately reveals it. As soon as the other boys show up, he shouts, he's not Fatty, his real name's Piggy. And the text says, Ralph shrieks with laughter.
It's a betrayal.
It's a betrayal. But it's a casual, childish betrayal that's not born of malice, but of a desire to fit in, to be funny. It sets Piggy up as the outsider forever. It shows that even Ralph, our hero, is capable of cruelty if it gets him a laugh.
Well.
He sacrifices Piggy's dignity to be cool in front of the others.
But Piggy is also the one who spots the most important object in the first act.
The shell. The conch.
Oh, yes, the conch.
The conch is fascinating. It's this creamy pink shell in the lagoon. Piggy knows what it is. He's seen one on a garden wall back home. He knows it's valuable. But notice the dynamic.
He can't use it.
He can't blow it because of his asthma. He has the knowledge, but not the physical power. So he instructs Ralph on how to do it. He kind of spat, Piggy explains.
So Piggy is the brains, Ralph is the vessel.
Precisely. Ralph is the one with the breath, the physical capability to use the tool Piggy identified. That relationship dynamic is set right there.
And when Ralph blows it, that sound, it's described as a deep, harsh note that booms under the palms. It's a summoning.
It is the first act of order. It pulls these scattered, terrified children out of the jungle. Small children, little ones, appearing from the undergrowth. It creates a society out of nothing but noise.
It turns a mob into an assembly.
Yes. The conch becomes a holy object almost immediately. Whoever holds it has the right to speak. It is the physical manifestation of democracy.
And that's when we get one of the most striking visual descriptions in the book, the arrival of the choir.
Oh, this is masterfully written. Golding describes them first not as boys, but as a creature. Ralph sees a black, bat-like creature dancing on the sand in the heat haze.
That gave me chills reading it. It's so ominous.
It's meant to be. And then it resolves into a column of boys marching in black cloaks in the tropical heat.
Which is just absurd, isn't it? Marching in black cloaks with silver crosses on a beach.
It's totally absurd. But it shows their discipline. They are holding formation despite passing out from heat stroke. And leading them is Jack Merridew.
Jack. Let's talk about Jack. He's tall, thin, red-haired. The text says his face was crumpled and freckled and ugly without silliness.
Ugly without silliness. It's such a specific and chilling description.
It means he's not funny ugly. He's not a caricature.
No, he's intense. He's dangerous. He's authoritarian from the first word he speaks. He shouts at the choir, "Choir, stand still."
He's annoyed.
He's annoyed there's no man with a trumpet, only Ralph. He's looking for the hierarchy, and he assumes he's at the top because he's always been at the top. He's head boy. He's in charge.
And we also meet Simon here, right, in that group.
Yes. Simon is the one who faints. He just collapses from the heat. He falls face first into the sand.
It immediately establishes him as physically weak.
Like Piggy, but in a different way. We'll see that Simon is much more spiritual, more connected to nature. But in this first meeting, he's just a casualty of Jack's forced march. It shows Jack doesn't care about the weak. He cares about the order. He doesn't stop for Simon until the formation is halted.
So the boys are gathered. They decide they need a chief.
And this election is crucial to understanding the political tragedy of the book. Jack is the obvious leader.
He volunteers himself, basically.
He demands it. He's the head boy, the chapter chorister. He can sing C-sharp. He commands the choir. He has experience leading. He assumes he'll be chief. But they vote for Ralph.
Why? Ralph hasn't really done anything except blew the shell.
Exactly. It wasn't intelligence. That's Piggy. It wasn't authority. That's Jack.
Yeah.
The text is very clear about this. It was his stillness, his size, and most importantly, the conch.
So they were voting for the object.
They were voting for the trumpet thing as much as the boy holding it. It represents order, mystery, and beauty. And Ralph, the fair boy, he just looked the part. He looked like the hero from the adventure books they read.
It's purely aesthetic. He looked like a leader, and he held the cool object. It feels very human.
We vote for the guy who looks the part.
We do. And Jack is left humiliated. The freckles on his face disappear under a blush of mortification. He's used to winning.
And this is where Ralph makes his first big leadership decision. Maybe his first mistake.
To compromise. He sees Jack's anger, and to placate him, he says, "The choir belongs to you, of course."
And Jack immediately decides they will be hunters. Hunters. Not house builders, not water gatherers. Hunters. It gives Jack a domain of violence and blood right from the start. Ralph essentially hands control of the military to his rival.
He thinks he's being nice.
He thinks he's being a good sport, but he's creating a split power structure that will eventually destroy them. Ralph controls the meetings, Jack controls the force.
So, order is established. We have a chief, we have the conch, we have hunters. Section 2, which is Chapter 2, gives us fire on the mountain. This starts with so much optimism.
So much. Ralph says, this is Good Island. They want to have fun. They want it to be Treasure Island or Swallows and Amazons. They think this is a big game.
But they also want to be rescued.
And Ralph, invoking his father in the Navy, comes up with a plan. A signal fire. If a ship comes near the island, they may not notice us. So we must make smoke on top of the mountain. We must make a fire.
And the execution of this plan is it's pure chaos.
Piggy describes it perfectly, like a crowd of kids. And it's ironic because they are kids, but Piggy means they're acting irresponsibly.
The moment Ralph says fire, it's a stampede.
They all just run up the mountain. Jack shouts, "Follow me!" And the conch is forgotten on the ground. There's no planning, no organization, just this manic, impulsive energy.
And when they get there, they have this massive pile of dead wood, and then the realization hits.
No matches.
Right. And this is a terrible moment for Piggy.
It is. It's an assault. Jack realizes what they can use. His specs use them as burning glasses.
He just snatches them.
Snatches them right off his face. Piggy is functionally blind without them, and they just rip his sight away to start a fire. It symbolizes how they're willing to sacrifice intellect and reason for immediate gratification.
He's screaming, isn't he?
He's screaming, "Mind out, give him back." But he is powerless against the mob. They don't ask, they take.
And the fire works a little too well.
It goes from a signal to a weapon almost instantly. The text describes it moving like a jaguar. It consumes a quarter mile of the forest. The heat is like a blow. They burn up the firewood they spent hours collecting in just a few minutes.
No, the fire is wild, uncontrolled.
Just like the boys are becoming. It's a mirror of their own internal state.
And this is where the reality check hits. Hard. Because the beastie.
The boy with the mulberry-colored birthmark. He was a small boy, maybe 6 years old. He had been nervous earlier in the first assembly, trying to talk about a snake thing or a beastie he saw in the woods at night.
Ralph just dismissed it, right?
Totally. Ralph tried to rationalize it away, saying there are no beasts on small islands. It was just a nightmare. But the fear was planted.
But after the fire rages through that very same part of the forest, the boy is gone.
Piggy's the one who notices, of course. He's the only one counting heads, trying to keep a list. He says, "That little one, where is he now?"
And the silence that follows is just deafening.
They never see him again. The transition from Good Island, fun, to deadly reality happens in the first couple of days. Their own negligence, their own chaotic energy killed a child.
And they don't really deal with it, do they? They just sort of look away.
Yeah. It's denial. It's too big to process. Ralph mutters that perhaps he went back to the camp. They cannot face the guilt, so they bury it. But the darkness has entered the camp. They've crossed a line. The island isn't a playground anymore. It's a death trap. And they're the ones who set the trap.
Let's move to section 3, huts on the beach. The source text jumps forward in time a bit here. Ralph's hair has grown long, which is such a great, simple marker of time passing and civilization fading.
And the central tension has now crystallized into a direct conflict between two worldviews, Ralph versus Jack.
The builder versus the hunter.
Or the sustainer versus the predator. Ralph is trying to build shelters. He's frustrated. The huts keep falling down. They are shaky. And who is helping him?
Just Simon.
Only Simon. Everyone else is playing or swimming or off with Jack. Ralph is acting like the disgruntled parent who comes home to a messy house.
There's that great quote from him where he says,
Oh yeah, where he's complaining. He says, I bet if I blew the conch this minute, they'd come running. Then we'd be, very solemn, and someone would say we ought to build a jet or a submarine or a TV set. When the meeting was over, they'd work for 5 minutes, then wander off or go hunting.
that is such a perfect description of human nature, honestly. Everyone loves the idea of the project. No one loves the actual work.
And then there's Jack. He's on a completely different planet.
Obsessed.
The description of him hunting is animalistic. He's crawling on all fours, sniffing the air. The text says his eyes are bolting and nearly mad. He is de-evolving into a predator. He's losing language, nearly. He's becoming purely sensory.
And all this for a pig he can't even catch yet?
Exactly. He is trying to kill a pig, but he keeps failing, and the failure's driving him insane.
There's this incredible argument they have on the beach. It's so simple, but it says everything. Ralph says, we want to be rescued. And Jack just says, I'd like to catch a pig first.
And that sums it all up. Ralph is focused on the future, on getting back to civilization, on the abstract concept of home. Jack is focused on the now, on the visceral satisfaction of the kill. It's delayed gratification versus immediate gratification.
The text says they looked at each other with baffled, in love, and hate. That's such a complex description, in love and hate.
It highlights that there are peers. There are the two alpha males. There's a mutual respect there, a connection, because they are the only two who really matter in the hierarchy.
See themselves in each other.
But they are two continents of experience unable to communicate. They are drifting apart tectonically. They want to connect, but their priorities are diametrically opposed. They're literally speaking different languages, the language of survival versus the language of blood.
And amidst this testosterone clash, Simon just wanders off.
Simon is the third pillar. If Ralph is society and Jack is savagery, Simon is soul or spirituality. He just slips away from the argument. He finds a secret spot in the jungle.
A kind of natural cathedral.
Yes, a place with candle buds.
Candle buds, what are those?
It's a flower. A white flower that, in the jungle gloom, looks like it has a green light inside. Jack later dismisses them because you can't eat them. That's Jack's purely utilitarian view of the world.
If you can't kill it or eat it, it's useless.
Right. But Simon appreciates them for their beauty. He sits in this secret glade just watching the butterflies in the light. He is attuned to the island's nature, whereas the others are trying to either exploit it like Jack or escape it like Ralph. Simon is the only one at peace with the island. He is the mystic.
Now, section 4, the painted mask and the broken link. This is where things start to get really scary for me. Specifically Roger. We haven't talked much about Roger yet.
Roger is the quiet terror. He's a choir boy, like Jack, but darker. He keeps to himself, described as intense and secretive. And there's a scene where he follows a little Henry down the beach.
Right, Henry's just playing.
Henry's playing with tiny sea creatures in the tide pools, feeling like a god, a master over them, and Roger starts throwing stones at him from a distance.
But he misses, deliberately. The stones land near him, but not on him.
Yes. And the text explains exactly why. There is a space around Henry, about 6 yards in diameter, into which Roger dare not throw. And here's the quote. "Round the squatting child was the protection of parents and school and policemen and the law."
So civilization is still holding Roger's arm back. It's an invisible force field.
Exactly. Roger wants to hit him. The impulse for violence is there, pure and simple. But the conditioning of the old life, the taboo, as Golding calls it, is still just strong enough to stop him. For now.
That "for now" is the ticking clock of the whole novel.
It is. The invisible policeman is fading every day. Roger is testing the fence, seeing if he gets shocked. When nothing happens, he steps a little closer.
While Roger is testing boundaries, Jack is obliterating them. He discovers face paint.
This is a pivotal moment. He finds colored clay and charcoal, red, white, and black. He smears it on his face, creating mask. He looks at his reflection in a coconut shell full of water. and he doesn't see himself.
He sees an awesome stranger.
Yes. The text says the mask liberated him from shame and self-consciousness.
That is the key, isn't it, to everything that follows?
It's the key to mob psychology and the savagery that follows. When Jack is just Jack, he's a schoolboy who knows he shouldn't kill things. He has a conscience, however buried. But when he wears the mask, he isn't Jack anymore. He's the hunter.
The mask allows him to suspend his conscience.
It's an anonymity that permits atrocity. He can do things the boy Jack never could. He begins to dance and whoop, and the other boys are terrified but also mesmerized by this new, powerful figure.
And this leads directly to the first major crisis. Ralph spots a ship.
The hope. The smoke. He sees a smudge on the horizon. This is it. This is rescue. They're screaming with joy, scrambling up the mountain. But when they look, there's no smoke.
The fire is dead.
Because the hunters, Jack's choir, left their post.
They deserted the signal fire to go hunt a pig.
They chose the immediate thrill of the hunt over the long-term duty of the signal. The ship passes. It just crawls slowly across the horizon and disappears.
The text describes Ralph running, screaming along the beach. Come back! Come back! It is agonizing. You feel the absolute desperation in his voice.
And then the hunters return. And the contrast is just heartbreaking. Ralph is weeping for the lost rescue, standing in the ashes of the dead fire, and here comes Jack, marching out of the jungle, covered in blood, chanting,
"Kill the pig! Cut her throat! Spill her blood!"
This chant becomes their liturgy, their prayer. Jack is triumphant. He's finally killed a living thing. He's high on the adrenaline of death. He wants to tell them about the lashings of blood. He is completely, totally unaware of the tragedy that just occurred.
And Ralph confronts him. You let the fire go out.
And Jack can't understand it. He's holding the meat. He's provided food. In his mind, he's the hero. Ralph is just a buzzkill. But when the reality of the lost ship finally sinks in, Jack feels humiliated. He was wrong, and Ralph was right. And how does he react to humiliation?
Violence. He punches Piggy.
He can't. Ralph is his equal to Chief. So he hits the weak link. He smacks Piggy's head, and the glasses fly off. One lens shatters on the rocks.
The symbolism is so heavy here, you can't miss it.
We can't. The glasses represent clear sight, reason, and the technology of fire. Now they are half broken. Reason is partially blind. The group is effectively half savage now. The link to the civilized world is cracked.
And notice who he hits. Not just anyone, but Piggy, the voice of reason.
And notice Jack apologizes for letting the fire out. But he never apologizes for hitting Piggy. Violence against the weak is becoming normalized. It doesn't even require an apology anymore.
And yet, they eat the meat. Even Ralph.
He refuses at first. He stands on principle. But the biological drive is too strong. The smell of the roasting pig, he eats it like a wolf.
It shows even the civilized leader is subject to animal instincts.
It does. And in that moment, Jack wins. He wins this round because Jack controls the food. He has proved that he can provide something tangible, while Ralph's fire provided nothing.
This brings us to Section 5. Beast from water. Ralph calls an assembly to put things straight.
This is the most serious assembly yet. And he makes a tactical error. He calls it a dusk. The lighting is spooky. Shadows are long. It's the worst time to talk about fear.
He tries to be practical, though. He brings up a list of failures.
A list of grievances. He talks about sanitation. People are pooping near the fruit trees and shelters, not on the designated rocks by the tide line. It's disgusting. It shows the breakdown of basic hygiene and order.
The toilet rock is too far, so they just go wherever.
The rules are becoming inconvenient, they're being abandoned. But the meeting quickly pivots from sanitation to something much bigger.
The fear. The beast.
They try to debate the beast out of existence. Piggy uses logic. Life is scientific, he says. I know there isn't no beast, unless we get frightened of people.
Which is a brilliant insight. The real danger is each other.
It's prophetic. But then the little ones speak. A boy named Percival gets up and mumbles and cries, and eventually suggests the beast comes from the sea.
And that's terrifying because the sea is unknown. It surrounds them. It's deep and dark.
And then Simon speaks. Poor, inarticulate Simon. He tries to express the truth. He stands up and he says, maybe it's only us.
Maybe it's only us. That's the thesis statement of the whole book, isn't it?
It is. He's saying the evil isn't an external monster. It's the darkness inside the human heart. It's mankind's essential illness. But the boys don't get it.
They laugh at him.
They laugh at him. They make a crude joke about him eating a ghost. They aren't ready to face that kind of introspection. It's easier to believe in a monster you can hunt than a monster inside your own skin.
And the meeting just falls apart from there.
Yep.
Jack challenges Ralph openly.
Bollocks to the rules. We're strong, we hunt. If there's a beast, we'll hunt it down. We'll close in and beat and beat and
And
beat.
it's a promise of violence.
This is the end of democracy. Jack is rejecting the conch. He's rejecting the debate. He's asserting that might makes right. He offers protection through violence, while Ralph offers protection through law. And in a state of fear, people, or boys, tend to choose the strong man with the spear.
Ralph almost gives up that night. He wants to resign as chief. He says, I'd give up if I could.
But Piggy begs him to stay. Why?
Because he's afraid.
He's terrified. Piggy knows that without Ralph as a buffer, Jack will hurt him. Piggy understands the predator-prey dynamic better than anyone because he has always been prey. He tells Ralph, he hates you too, Ralph. You got him over the fire and you're chief and he isn't.
Piggy sees the jealousy and the danger clearly.
He says, if you give up, what'll happen to me? He knows if Ralph steps down, he's dead.
Section 6. Beast from Air. The boys wished for a sign from grown-ups. If only they could send us something grown-up, Ralph says. A sign or something.
And the universe answers with the most grim, cynical irony imaginable. There is an air battle 10 miles above the island, a dogfight between planes. A dead paratrooper falls from the sky.
The sign from the adult world is a corpse.
A casualty of their war. The description of the body is haunting. It gets tangled in the parachute lines on the mountaintop. So when the wind blows, the harness pulls and the corpse lifts up and bows.
Like a grotesque puppet.
Exactly. And Sam and Eric, the twins on fire duty, see the silhouette in the dark. They see the wings of the parachute. They see the head bobbing. They hear the fabric flapping.
And to them, it's the beast. It's fact now. Not a dream, not a story.
Fear solidifies into certainty. It's no longer a theory. They rush back and tell the others, we saw the beast. They describe it as furry, with wings and eyes and teeth and claws. Their fear has created a monster.
And now the political balance shifts completely.
If there is a real beast, Ralph's rules about sanitation and huts don't matter. Jack's spears matter. Panic empowers the militarist. The conch feels very flimsy all of a sudden.
So they go on an expedition to hunt the beast. They go to the only place they haven't checked, the rocky tail of the island, Castle Rock.
And notice the different reactions to this place. It's a harsh, pink, rocky outcrop connected to the main island by a narrow ledge. Ralph, the builder, sees it as a place with no fresh water, no shelter, a rotten place.
But Jack sees something completely different.
Jack sees a wizard fort. He sees the military potential immediately. He looks at a huge boulder and says, shove a palm trunk under that, and if an enemy came, whee! He's imagining rolling rocks onto enemies.
Which is some heavy foreshadowing.
Extremely heavy. Jack is looking for a fortress. Ralph is looking for a home. Two totally different ways of seeing the world.
Now, Section 7. Shadows and Tall Trees. This section is so interesting because it shows Ralph's vulnerability. They are hunting, continuing their search, and a boar charges the group.
And Ralph, on instinct, throws his spear. He hits the snout. It glances off, but he hit it. And suddenly, this mild, civilized boy is flushed with bloodlust.
He's excited.
He's ecstatic. He shouts, I wounded him! I wounded him! He fights for attention. He wants the credit. He's babbling about it.
It shows that the thirst isn't just a Jack problem, it's a human problem. The thrill of the hunt, of the near kill, is intoxicating.
And then, the game.
The game, they reenact the hunt, but they don't have a pig, so they use a boy named Robert.
And it gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
It stops being play. They are chanting, kill the pig, cut his throat. They are hurting Robert for real. Ralph is part of it. The text says he was carried away by a sudden thick excitement, and he's jabbing at Robert with the butt of his spear.
The mob mentality takes over completely. Robert is screaming in real pain and terror. It's a simulation of murder, and they are enjoying it. They nearly kill him.
And afterwards, when it breaks up, Jack makes a joke, a truly chilling joke. He suggests next time they use a little on.
And everyone laughs. That is one of the most terrifying moments. They are joking about human sacrifice. The barrier between animal and human is dissolving. They see the little ones as expendable, or at least as valid targets for their game.
The expedition continues up the mountain. Ralph, Jack, and Roger go up in the dark to confront the beast.
It's a test of manhood, a power play. Jack mocks Ralph, asking if he's frightened, trying to prove he's the braver leader, so they have to climb.
And they see it, the paratrooper.
In the dark, the wind blows, the body bows forward, and they see the ruin of a face. They see something that bulges and sits up.
And they don't wait to investigate.
They flee. They run down the mountain in absolute terror. Now, the beast is confirmed by the three most powerful boys on the island. The island is officially a place of horror. Reason has failed to explain the world. Fear has won.
Which brings us to Section 8, Gift for the Darkness. This is the breaking point. Jack uses this fear to try and seize power. He calls an assembly.
He blows the conch, which is ironic. He's using the symbol of democracy to try and stage a coup. He tells the boys that Ralph is a coward, that he ran from the beast. He says Ralph isn't a hunter. He isn't a proper chief.
He calls for a vote. Who thinks Ralph oughtn't to be chief?
And there's this dead, humiliating silence. No one raises their hand.
Why not? They're afraid of the beast. Jack is the hunter. Why don't they vote for him?
I think they're still too conditioned by the democratic process to openly mutiny. They're scared of breaking the rules in public, in the daylight, with the conch right there. It's one thing to sneak off, another to raise your hand in rebellion.
So Jack is publicly humiliated.
Completely. He cries, tears of rage and shame. And he says, I'm not going to play any longer. Not with you.
It sounds so childish. I'm not going to play. But the consequences are deadly. He leaves. He runs off into the forest.
He leaves, but he issues an invitation. Anyone who wants to hunt when I do can come too. He knows the boys will follow. He offers them what Ralph can't. Son, meat, protecting from the beast, and freedom from rules. He's starting a rival tribe.
Piggy is actually relieved when Jack goes. He thinks, great, now we can have peace.
It's a brief moment of hope for the civilized faction. Piggy has a brilliant idea. Move the fire to the beach, since the mountain is blocked by the beast. It shows his resilience.
So they build a new fire, they feast on fruit, but then they look around and the biggins are gone.
Maurice, Bill, Roger, they sneaked off to join Jack.
Yeah.
The allure of the savage tribe, the promise of meat and no rules is too strong. The structure of civilization is boring compared to the thrill of the hunt.
And what does Jack's new tribe do first? They hunt. The sow hunt.
This is the most graphic, disturbing scene in the book so far. It's not just a hunt. It's a ritualistic slaughter. It's a rape.
The language Golding uses is deliberately sexualized.
Incredibly so. They are wedded to her in lust. They corner a nursing sow, a mother pig. They stab the spear right up her ass. It's described with this frenzied, orgiastic violence.
It's not about food anymore. It's for the pleasure of inflicting pain and asserting dominance.
It's the total release of the id. They are completely given over to the bloodlust, and after the kill, they are giddy, covered in blood. They have the meat, but they have no fire. So they plan to raid Ralph's camp. They are becoming parasites on the civilized group they just abandoned.
But before they do that, Jack decides to leave an offering, a gift for the beast.
This is the creation of the title character. They cut off the sow's head. They sharpen a stick at both ends, a phrase that should terrify you.
Sharpen a stick at both ends, meaning one end for the ground, one end for the victim.
Exactly. And they jam the stick into a crack in the rock and impale the bloody head on it.
It's a pagan sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice to appease a dark god. They are creating a religion of fear. They aren't trying to kill the beast anymore. They are worshiping it, trying to buy it off.
And who is watching this whole time?
Simon. He's been hiding in his secret glade. He's dehydrated, maybe feverish from the heat. He watches the entire slaughter. And then he's left alone with the head. The flies, attracted to the blood, start to swarm and buzz around it.
The Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub.
And the head speaks to him. Or rather, Simon hallucinates a conversation with it. It's a psychotic break, perhaps, but it reveals the ultimate truth of the novel.
The voice says, fancy thinking the beast was something you could hunt and kill, and then, I'm part of you. I'm the reason why it's no-go, why things are what they are.
This is the confirmation of Simon's earlier theory. The beast isn't a ghost, it isn't a squid, it isn't a paratrooper, it's the savagery inside the boys themselves. The Lord of the Flies is the internal beast. It's the capacity for evil that exists in every human being.
And it warns him, doesn't it? You knew, didn't you? I'm part of you. It tells him to run back to the others, or we shall do you. We, meaning the boys.
It's a prophecy of his own death. The head is telling him that he cannot escape the darkness because the darkness is in his friends. It's in Ralph, it's in Piggy, it's in Jack. It's inescapable. The island isn't the problem. The boys are the problem.
And we leave Simon fainting, falling into the mouth of the beast, as it were. The weather is turning. A storm is brewing.
The stage is set for the final catastrophe. The group is irrevocably split. You have Ralph and Piggy's group, the conchs, representing civilization, but they are powerless and few. And you have Jack's tribe, the hunters, savage, armed, and holding the meat.
It's a terrifying place to pause our deep dive for today.
It is, because we've watched them strip away every single layer of British reserve. They've lost their clothes, their language is breaking down into chants, their rules are gone, their technology, the glass is broken, all that's left is the appetite.
So let's just take a step back and unpack this. Why does this story stick with people so hard? Why are we still talking about it?
Because it challenges the most comforting myth we tell ourselves, that civilization is our natural state, that we are fundamentally good. Golding is arguing that civilization is a habit. It's a very thin coat of paint. And if you scratch that paint, the wood underneath is raw and dangerous.
It asks a really uncomfortable question.
It asks, how deep does your morality go? Does it only exist because the police exist, because your parents are watching? What happens when there are no consequences?
It makes you wonder, if you took a group of adults, accountants, teachers, podcast hosts, and dropped them on that island, would we really do any better?
We'd like to think so. We have more taboo built up, more years of conditioning. But do we? Or would we just have more sophisticated ways of justifying the savagery? Would we form tribes based on politics or class instead of choirs?
That's a sobering thought.
Golding experienced World War II. He saw what so-called civilized nations did to each other in concentration camps and firebombed cities. He wasn't really writing about children. He was writing about us, about humanity.
That is a haunting final note.
The boys think they are fighting a beast from the air or sea. But the source material, through the voice of the Lord of the Flies itself, suggests the real danger is the darkness within them. And that leaves us with the final thought for you to take away. If civilization is just a habit, what happens when the habit is broken?